Hey everybody, it's Thunder. Just wanted to say hi to everybody, really. I know it's the day before T-Day, Thanksgiving Day, but that doesn't mean anything to me. Being native, I don't really celebrate because I know of the terrible injustice that was done to the Native American, I don't even like saying Native American, to the native people of this land, uh, the indigenous people that were slaughtered. That was after they offered their food and help and extended their offerings of peace to the boys and girls on the Mayflower. So Thanksgiving doesn't mean shit to me. I don't even get a good meal. I live alone. So nobody's cooking a dinner for me. I'd eat it if they were. I've been looking at the news a little. I have to just shake my head at some of this stuff because I just want to say liar, liar, pants on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Because everywhere you look, there seems to be no reasonable explanation for the stuff that's happening. Oh, the Ferguson thing, yeah. I don't know, man. I looked at a picture. Somebody tweeted me a picture of that cop. I never saw him before, and I can get a lot off of a picture. I don't want to judge the guy by his looks, but just looking at him, he doesn't look too, what's the word I'm looking for here? He looks kind of like a dork, you know? He kind of looks like a skinhead. It's kind of what he looks like. And there's people out there saying, yeah, but there's evidence inside the car, and look at the bruises on his face, and it's like, oh, have you ever seen a makeup artist? Have you ever seen anybody plant stuff before? Have the cops ever planted stuff? Would they do that in their own car, put blood in there from the officer to prove that this man attacked him? And I'm thinking to myself, man, people will buy anything. I mean, that stuff's easy to jimmy. It's easy to make up. And then they come out, the grand jury comes out with this stuff, 2 days ago or a day and a half? I don't know. I don't watch it that. But right before Thanksgiving. So they know that people will probably be settling down if they riot, which they did. They probably know that these people will be settling down before, for the holidays. Now, I hope they don't. I hope they don't. I hope people protest. I guess protests are going on all over America. It's the only way you're going to stop this shit See, this really isn't about black or white. It's about cops shooting people. They shoot people all the time. Of course, they do shoot a lot of blacks, yeah. But go back to, the reservation, and around the reservation, especially, in the earlier days, and I'm sure it still happens, but a lot of red men got killed. Same way, just shot, taken off, dumped in a ditch. Nothing, there's nothing new under the sun, really. It's just a different colored race. But everybody's getting shot, by these cops. There was a, what this whole thing reminds me of is Animal Farm. Who wrote that book? I think it was it Orwell or It could have been Huxley. I don't know. One of those guys wrote a book called Animal Farm, and it was a deal about where the animals, were subjugated by the pigs. That's where the term pig came from. When you talk about cops, the pigs. Because the pigs in the animal farm were the ones that took over the farm and subjugated all the rest of the animals and were little Nazis. Speaking of which, let's segue right into that. Still can't believe the West voting for or against that UN deal on Nazism. In other words, they voted for Nazism. I mean, if you just couple that with all the stuff you see, like the shootings and the banks taking over everything, and it just adds up, But what doesn't add up is the fact that there's no real answers to anything. You ever notice that? There's no real answers to the Ferguson thing or the thing in Kiev. I mean, we know what's going on. We know what's going on, those of us who delve into it and study it. And we know the machinations that the West is, the lying, fraudulent things that they're doing over there, and insane things like supplying arms to National Socialists, Nazis, or whatever in Kiev. And we know all this stuff that's going on, but, Now, I saw a thing, I'm going to skip over to the finances here a minute. Now, I saw a thing on this guy that does this Watchdog USA thing. I guess I can mention his name, Greg Hunter. He had a guy on there about gold. That's another thing that there's really no answer to. I don't care how many people he has on there, experts, so-called quote-unquote experts. They don't have any real answers, as to what's going on. And if these guys that are in the market and rubbing shoulders with people that buy gold and the high rollers, so to speak, if they don't know what's going on, well, who does? I mean, they make a living at transferring gold and buying gold for people, and it's like they're stumped, There is an article today that I haven't read yet, but I'm going to read about. It's called Putin's Golden, or Grandmaster Putin's Golden Plan or something. I'm going to read that, see what that's all about. But this guy said, that was on Greg Hunter, he said that both China and Russia could, with $1 billion or $2 billion, which is nothing, that's nothing, could collapse the dollar, or could, make a demand for gold or buy some gold and it couldn't be delivered. That type of thing. And I'm scratching my head, going, well, if they can do that easily, why haven't they done it? And he said they don't want to do it because they're not ready to do it. And I'm like, oh, this stuff is just so, it's so confusing. Because there's no answers. The bottom line is that that America is on crutches. It looks like to me, mental crutches and financial crutches, or they're making it look like that. You don't know anymore. I mean, things have got and then you got the other thing with the possible cyber attacks from Russia, but Russia doesn't do it themselves. They farm it out to hackers that are in the Soviet Union. And I'm like, you know, the more I look at this stuff, the more I look at it, I quit getting angry about it. I really did. It's like, it's too absurd to get angry about, you know? It's too absurd. But it looks like everywhere that I look that the lie, you know, the bullshit is so deep, you know, you need a shovel. I mean, I don't know how it could get much worse. Can it get worse? So, I don't know, I kind of touched a lot of things today, but to me it looks like America's on crutches, and they're trying to prop things up. Why do people lie? First of all, why do people lie? You got to look at that. That's something, you know, that we got to look at closely. Why do people lie? Okay? Why do governments lie? Why do people that administer, let's say finances for the government, or, you know, anybody, the CIA, the military industrial, why do they lie? Why would anybody want to lie and not tell the truth? Well, why do people usually lie? To cover up truth and to put themselves out of harm's way, okay? To put, you know, to make people believe something that is other than what it is. Can you imagine what would happen if everybody all of a sudden told the truth in the government and all these places? They'd all go down. I mean, if the people of the United States, say, for example, really knew what was going on, like most of you people do that I talk to, I mean, we're in a small minority. You have to realize that. If they really realized what was going on, how long do you think they'd take it? And I guess that's why they're perpetrating the lies. And it's just those of us that can see right through the lies are kind of just shaking our heads going, don't people see this? I would be interested in getting some comments about how many of you have talked to your fellow man about any of this stuff, and how much of the lying that's going on are they aware of? Or are they awake at all? Or, because I've talked to a few people and they look at me like I'm nuts. They look at me like, you know, I've talked to people that are immigrants from other countries. Oh, this is a good country. Oh, really? Have you looked into the history of this country and the genocide of the Native Americans? And do you know what's going on now? And sometimes I wonder, you know, what people are doing. I mean, maybe you can tell me what they're doing. Maybe you can tell me, because I'm kind of at the point now where I'm a little bit baffled about, you know, how good, what good it does for me to come on here. Other than I like talking to you guys, but I think America's on crutches. I really do. I think America is so deep in debt. That's the only thing I can figure out, that it all has to do with money. It all has to do with money. It's got to have to do with money. What else could it have to do with? Power? Well, you achieve power through gaining more money, I guess. In this world, money is power. Power is money. So when it all boils right down to it, it's about money and power, or power and money. And I guess people will go to any lengths to lie about it, or to lie to get it, or to lie to keep it. I think that's one of the main things too, is that people, like governments, get into a position of power and money, and once they get that power and that money, it's like an addiction, and they feel like if they lose any of it, just like, let's say you had a lot of money in the bank, but you got hit with all kinds of expenses and whatever, and you just kept getting hit over and over, and you saw the money dwindling, and then next thing you know, you'd be in a panic about it. And see, that's why you can't make money your God. You can't do that. And that's what these people have done, evidently. And it's been that way since day one. It's been a land grab. They're money-grubbing land grabbers, is what they are. Money-grubbing land grabber liars. Okay? Money-grubbing, land-grabbing liars. So when those kind of people are in control, like the I Ching says, when the evil man is in control, the people suffer. It's the people that suffer. It's the everyday man on the street that suffers. It's not the people at the top. They never suffer. The only suffering that they're having is worrying about losing their money. And so consequently, everybody under them suffers because they lie about things, and they take money from places that they shouldn't, okay, that would benefit the general population. They're called raiders, okay? It's just like a raid. They're raiding the coffers of our society. They're raiding the coffers of. Nobody knows how much gold is left. Nobody knows the exact amount of gold that's in America, and there's people asking for it now. There's a lot of people saying, hey, we want our gold. Other countries that put faith in this country. But see, the thing I don't get is maybe you can help me out with this. The thing I don't get is why these countries go along, okay, why do these countries go along with the West when they know it hurts their own economy? What is it that the West has against these people that they will do anything? They will do backflips. All these countries like Germany and Finland and London and all these, Canada and all these countries, what is it, okay, what has their arms so twisted that they'll do anything, even shortchange their own people, even cause their people to freeze if they can't get coal from Russia and stuff like that? Why do they go along with sanctions and stuff that they know is going to hurt their country, hurt their people? Are the people at the top all getting just paid tons, shitloads of money? And they're just like selling out the general populace for just, getting paid a little bit of money under the table? Not a little bit. But that's either that or the U.S. has things against these people, kind of like J. Edgar Hoover in the FBI had a dossier on every person that he considered his enemy, or every president, every congressman, everybody, okay? He had a dossier on all their sexual activities and all the little dirt that he could gather, yet he was living in a relationship with a man that nobody knew about till later. I just can't figure why these countries are going along. There's some kind of underlying blackmail with this, maybe with this, the NSA. And that revelation, remember that came out that they were tapping Merkel's phone and they were tapping this person's phone in the UK, and they would, all of them, and they got pissed off for a while. But then what happened? Well, somebody probably told them, you get too pissed off and we're going to dump all this shit we know about you out onto the airwaves. So, I mean, I think that's what's going on here. I think that's what's going on. I think that America is, because I can't see them just all getting behind America for an ideology when the ideology now is kind of, I don't know, vaporized. The American way, the American flag, the courage, the justice, what the boys in World War II fought for, and liberty and freedom and all that good shit. I don't see that around anymore. So how does America retain this status of telling everybody what to do? It's like a man on crutches telling everybody what to do. I think somebody needs to pull their covers. I think somebody really needs to somehow pull the covers in event. I'm kind of seeing like it might be an event. I don't know, when you get race things happening all over the country, that's an event. When you get the black people like coming out in force in all kinds of different cities, I should have said, that's what I meant, cities, demonstrating. But see, they timed it right before Thanksgiving so that people will like, well, we got to go home and visit Ma and Pa for Thanksgiving. These people are insidious. They time shit right before people, when they know people are going to calm down. Oh, it'll only last a little while. I wonder how long this will last. This uprising against the shooting of this black man. And again, it's not about a black man. I don't know, just the whole thing is, it's kind of out there, isn't it, people? It's kind of like, go figure. Anyway, I'm just kind of shooting my mouth off today. Thunder speaks again. Still working on my book. Don't know. Been reading a lot of books, novels, just to get my head out of this mess. But every day it seems like, man, how can this stuff go on? How can this stuff go on day after day after day, week after week after week, month after month after month, and things getting worse and people not realizing it? I don't get it. Is it worth it for me to come out or for anybody to come out? Because they're going to put an end to that too. with the censorship thing. And this poor guy that got censored, I mean, I kind of feel sorry for him, this Gregory Mannarino, because I used to watch him when he was free. And when he was on that Greg Hunter show, I mean, you should have seen the comments putting this guy down. I don't know if it was trolls or not, but it was just comment after comment after comment after comment, telling, saying what an idiot he was. And Greg's okay. He's just another guy out there trying to do his thing. I wasn't real happy when he started charging. I think that was a big mistake. And then they turned against him. I mean, everywhere I look, things are like ass backwards. It's like, can we go back? I mean, as long as we're living in the Old West, can we really go back to the Old West and start living in the wilderness again? Cooking on a campfire? That's what it might end up as. Anyway, this is Thunder. Just shooting his mouth off again. Talking to his friends. We'll keep it that way. That way they won't take, they won't. This is just almost like a family here, right? I'm just talking to my family the day before Thanksgiving. Anyway, you people enjoy yourselves on your turkey days here and over the weekend, and just try to relax. And I'm looking at this stuff. To me now, it's becoming more humorous in a way. I'm kind of like a strategist, a chess player. And you try to look at the logical moves here. What are logical moves? And I don't see them. I don't see any logic behind it. I don't see any strategy. I see some strategy, yeah. The West wants to take over everybody else and infiltrate and lie but the thing that I don't see is why these countries are going along with their own demise financially, unless they think they're going to get some big payback that we don't know about out of it. I can't see where this train's going. I can only see so far down the track. I do see, like I said before, I have flashes of things coming to me that are relevant to the workings and the machinations. I see things like I said before, I just have them come to me in flashes. Maybe I'm getting ready to have another flash here to reveal another vision, to reveal, what is going on here. But maybe I already had it. Maybe that what's really going on is blackmail. Blackmailing everybody that is associated. Blackmailing everybody. I mean, the media, the press, these other nations. Maybe this NSA thing is so huge as far as gathering information. That's the only thing I can come up with. Is it blackmail? You tell me, okay? Leave your comments. This is Thunder. Walk the red road. Keep the faith. Adios.